Hey guys, just wanted to do a little video on autism or ASD. Autism is a disability or a disorder, as some people call it, that affects a person's social interaction, communication, interests and behaviour. And some people only have some difficulties with some of these. Some have all of them, or some may only just have one. Some people have high functioning autism, and some of them have mild autism, and well, some people are a bit different, to be honest. They find it harder to do some things than what other people with autism do. But no person with autism is the same. It's estimated that 1 in every 100 people in the UK have ASD, and more boys are diagnosed with this condition than girls because girls find it easier to hide it. So boys are more likely to get diagnosed with it, although that is starting to change now. There's no cure for autism, but as some people with autism have trouble with speech and language, you can also get speech and language therapy or occupational therapy, educational support to help people with autism and help them find easier ways of coping. People with autism tend to have problems with social interaction and communication. In early childhood years, some children with ASD don't like babble or use vocal sounds, and some older children who have autism have problems using non-verbal behaviours to interact with others. For example, they have difficulty with eye contact, facial expressions, body language and gestures. And some people even have trouble understanding how other people are feeling. So if their facial expressions, some people have facial expressions that say they're sad, but people with autism aren't likely to understand that is because they're sad, so they don't pick up or register that this is happening. And some people with autism may give no or brief eye contact and ignore familiar or unfamiliar people because, well, that's just how it is, to be fair. Children with ASD or autism may also lack awareness of and interest in other children. They often either go to older or younger children rather than children the same age as them, or sometimes they tend to play alone because it's easier that way. They also have difficulty starting conversations and taking part in them properly. Language development may be delayed, and basically they may not be able to speak properly, or not even speak at all, some of them. Children with autism tend to repeat words or phrases spoken by others, either straight away or later on in life, without formulating their own language, or in parallel to developing their language skills. Some children don't demonstrate imagination or pretend play, while others will continually repeat the same pretend play. So that means like they may always play with the same thing and do the same thing. Some children with autism like to stick to the same routine, and if anything changes in that, like even if it's a little tiny bit, even if it's something that seems so little to you that it doesn't matter, that can trigger their anxiety and cause like little tantrums or meltdowns. Some children with autism may flap their hands or twist or flick their fingers when they're excited or upset. So, you know, if your child with autism is doing this, it's not unusual. Others may engage in repetitive activities such as turning light switches on and off, or opening and closing doors, or lining things up, because that's part of autism. Children and young people with autism frequently experience a range of thinking, learning, emotional and behavioural problems. For example, some people with autism may also have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or as some people call it, ADHD, anxiety or depression, or maybe all of these, or some other different ones. There are other different ones as well. About 70% of children with autism have a non-verbal IQ below 70, and of that 70%, 50% have a non-verbal IQ below 50. Up to 50%, overall up to 50% of people with severe learning difficulties have an ASD, which is autism spectrum disorder. Getting a diagnosis, well, the main features of ASD is problems with social communication and interaction, and can often be recognised during early childhood. Some features of ASD may not become noticeable until a change of situation, such as when the child starts nursery or school. They may struggle to do this, or they might find it like really, really hard and not be able to. So if you notice any of these signs or symptoms, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but this is what I had to do to get my diagnosis. Go and see a GP or health visitor, or if you do notice any of these symptoms, or if you're concerned about your child's development, then this could help, and they could possibly have autism. And getting a diagnosis earlier on in age can help a lot. I mean, I didn't get diagnosed until I was 16, which was May last year, and I really struggled. I got bullied and I got depression and anxiety, and yeah, a lot of things happened and I really struggled. I ended up having to move schools at the end of year 10 because they couldn't cope with me. I ended up going to a special school, and then that was when I got diagnosed with autism, and since then I have got a lot of help that I've needed, and I am starting slowly to make progress, and I now know that I'm not just stupid and pathetic. There is actually something wrong with me. So anyway, going back to autism, it can also be helpful to discuss your concerns with your child's nursery or school, because that could really help and they could point you in the right direction. And also they could like write a little report to the doctor so the doctor is aware that they have noticed these signs as well. Caring for someone with ASD, well, from my experience, I mean, I haven't cared for anyone with ASD, but I know obviously my mum has because she looks after me, and I know it's really hard. Obviously, if some people with autism that are more high functioning than others, it can be more harder with some people than what other people, but overall it is really hard. It can also affect your emotional and physical energy and make it easy to forget about your own health and mental well-being. So it is really important to look after yourself, and when possible, like when it is possible, have time to yourself and do things that you like. And it's really important as well to get as much help as you possibly can, because well, it's just really important, because otherwise it can put you down to a really low level and nobody wants that. What causes ASD? The exact cause of ASD is unknown, and to be fair, some people believe that the MMR vaccine caused ASD, but it has been scientifically proven that there is no evidence that links the MMR vaccination and ASD, so the cause is unknown. There may not even be a cause, to be fair. It may just be one of those things that you get, but it is unknown. Autism in adults. Some people with ASD had features of the condition as a child, but as they enter adulthood, they still have not got a diagnosis. So it can be really hard for them. However, getting a diagnosis as an adult can often help a person with ASD, and it can also help their families, because it will help them understand why they do certain things and make them realise that it's not just them and they're not just naughty or stupid or pathetic. There is a reason for the way they're acting. There is a lot of services available out there. If you Google autism services, then basically there is a lot out there, but there is not much awareness about autism. and there's not many people that are willing to help out, and some people don't even want to get a diagnosis for their child because they think that it will change the way that they're like treated or lived, or people don't want a label, so they don't get them diagnosed. But trust me, in my point of view, getting diagnosed with autism or whatever your child has, it's a good idea to get that diagnosis, because then they will understand themselves more. So yeah, it may not be fully noticeable like straight away, but yeah, it can be noticed in childhood. And like some kids might have some of these symptoms and not actually have autism. They could have something else. But in my advice, go to your GP or your child's nursery or school, or just some sort of professional, because they will point you in the right direction and they will help you, and it can really change your life and really help you. So yeah, so thanks for listening. I hope this is helpful. Please subscribe, comment, like. Please give me some tips. I will try and record another sort of video. I'm not really sure what it will be on yet, but I will try and help people as much as I possibly can, because I know what it's like to not get help. And people on YouTube and some YouTubers have really helped me and have really like helped me with their advice and helped me really get to where I am now. So yeah, I really want to do that. So yeah, subscribe, like, comment what you think, and yeah, tell your friends about my channel, because I really want to get awareness and help people as much as I possibly can. So yeah, thanks guys, see you later.